don't explain queer history to her, Keffels. I'm sorry, I said her. It's probably they, them. If we're being real.
The optics of an Asian American woman having to debate cultural appropriation with a white lady.
It just does not sit right with me. Just do the research, Keffels.
Yeah, just do the research. What are you doing, Keffels? Especially from some non-binary people. You can't say bitch. That's a female slur. I don't know that they're non-binary. But, like, they're probably non-binary.
Retweets?
That many retweets? You guys fucking suck. And you guys need to check yourselves. You watched the train pass your house with an autistic girl. I ran a train on an autistic girl. We are not the same. I looked it up because I never heard this phrase.
Okay. Well, no longer constructive or helpful. The comments were making us incredibly dysphoric as non-binary trans people. Woo! Let's go! Let's go! I called that! I called that right off the rip, dude!
As someone who has a hard time tying their shoes because of their disability, fuck you. I'll see you in hell.
If we want to get rid of systems of oppression, it is very important to look at these microaggressions because those are probably going to be the last things to go. We feel it's important to talk about it and to point them out. Check yourself.
Check yourself.
Check yourself.
We're actually gonna get into what Keffels did.
It's gonna be so good. You guys, prepare yourselves, okay? This is gonna be so good. All right, here we go. Here we go. You guys remember, like, a couple weeks ago, we reviewed a video where we said this was like a caricature of a crazy nut job SJW leftist. You guys remember this? And we said, like, you know, I forget his name. Do you guys remember? It was a Xander Hall is not your ally video by DJ something. I don't remember his name, but he was just like so erratic, so crazy, so bad faith, lied so much that it was insanely hilarious. This. And then every time he even said a couple of times, like, if you disagree with a trans person, you're transphobic. If you disagree with a black person, you're racist. Like, he was actually saying stuff like that, right? Here we go. This is like, oh, oof, ooh la la. This is the jam right here.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Clown Town. I'm Gus.
I'm Val. Thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate you. If you'd like to leave a comment, a subscription, a like,
that would be absolutely amazing. So today, we are talking about an absolute shit show.
Trigger warnings include ableism, autistic slurs, anti-blackness, anti-Asian sentiment, interphobia, lynching, racism, mentions of Nazis and Hitler. Long story.
Wait. In your trigger warning, one of the things is mentions of Nazis and Hitler. This is in the trigger warning. Right? You're saying, hey, you might be triggered by the mention of Nazis and Hitler, right? You're mentioning Nazis and Hitler in the trigger warning. If they are going to get triggered just from a mentioning of Nazis or Hitler, why would you do it in the trigger warning? Why would you do the mentioning of Nazis and Hitler in the trigger warning? This is what you're warning people of. Okay. It's okay. It's okay, I guess. I'm okay. I gotta calm down. Everybody, you guys calm down too. Everybody chill. You guys are erratic right now.
Racism, mentions of Nazis and Hitler. Long story short, we're going to be talking about Keffels and her history of bigotry.
There might be Holocaust survivors watching. Well, okay, that's very unlikely. But even if there were, again, if the mentioning of Nazis and Hitler is what's going to trigger you, you probably shouldn't mention Nazis and Hitler in the trigger warning. Just saying.
Before we get into that, we have some context that we believe is necessary to help understand everything that's going on.
We like context. We like context. This is good. I like this. Good start.
Roll the archival footage! The queer community, despite its beautiful diversity,
This is a little... What the heck? So, the name of this video is Keffels is a Bigot. In order to make this case, you gotta go all the way back to, like, the 50s? We're going to tell you how Keffels became a bigot. And to tell you this story, we're going to start with the beginning of humankind. Humans eventually came down. Our ape ancestors came down from the trees. Tom, why tomfoolery would you not preface the trigger warning with a content warning? I thought you were of the center left. I'm of the center right, but I will be of the center left if you'd like me to.
has a racism problem. Despite the incredible efforts of people of color, specifically Black trans women, to advance our rights, white queer activists and their needs are consistently centered within LGBTQ spaces.
These conversations about racism within the community are often swept under the rug in the name of unity, which further gaslights the realities of queer, Black, Indigenous people of color. We can't allow this to continue, especially when it's been reported that half of all queer, Black, Asian, and minority ethnic people have experienced racial discrimination within local LGBTQ plus spaces.
With all of that, let's talk about Keffels. Keffels is a white trans Twitch streamer that apparently has a lot to say. She takes to Twitter with all of her opinions.
Recently, she spearheaded a campaign to get rid of an alt-right hate website called Kiwi Farms.
Kiwi Farms is not an alt-right hate website. There are a lot of far-right people on there. They are not alt-right, but they are far-right. But it is not a far-right website. There's a big amalgamation of all sorts of groups. There's different forums that some of them are left, some of them are far left. There's like, they're everybody. It's just a lot of freaking different people, but there are far-right people on there. I don't think like it's incorrect or dishonest to call it a far-right website. It's wrong. It's incorrect to call it alt-right, but I wouldn't say it's incorrect to call it a far-right website. Just, it's not like, it's not just for far-right people. It's really just for anybody.
Which is really good, really great work. We're really glad that her efforts were a part of taking down the site. What isn't incredible is that she and her community use this as a shield for accountability for any of her racist actions.
Not okay at all. Most
No,
of Keffels' racist actions can be described as microaggressions, which are everyday verbal, nonverbal, and environmental slights, snubs, or insults, whether intentional or not, which communicate hostile, derogatory, or negative messages to targeted persons based solely on their marginalized group membership.
So we're Keffels is a bigot, and we're starting with microaggressions. This is going to be great. This is going to be so good.
Usually these microaggressions are not as overt as, say, somebody throwing around racial slurs, but the message...
It's not that they're usually not racial slurs. They are never racial slurs. Racial slurs are never a microaggression. Those are a macroaggression, I guess, or I don't know, but those are a bigger aggression than a microaggression. They're just not a microaggression.
Message of a microaggression and these racial slurs, the message is the same, that the other person does not belong, that the other person is inferior, and that the other person is less than human in some way because of their marginalization.
If we want to get rid of systems of oppression, it is very important to look at these microaggressions because those are probably going to be the last things to go. We feel it's important to talk about it and to point them out. Check yourself.
Check yourself. Now
Check yourself.
we're actually going to get into what Keffels did. Basically, in 2021, the progress flag was updated. Now, the progress flag initially was all of the rainbow stripes, the black and brown stripe, and the trans stripe. But in 2021, it was updated by an intersex activist to include the intersex flag. Of course, Kerfoodle had a lot to say about this.
Oh, she called her Kerfoodle. That was good.
So let's hear what Kerfuffle has to say.
Oh, Kerfuffle. They're changing her name. They're changing her name.
The image that Keffels posted is an image of this new pride flag, which has the intersex stripes, the trans stripes, the black and brown stripes, as well as the rainbow stripes. However, it is edited to have a green stripe, a white stripe, and a red stripe. And this is what Keffels said. This flag wasn't inclusive at all, so I had my friend redesign it so myself and other members of the Italian community are represented with an Irish flag next to it.
Come on. That's a joke. That's a good joke. That's funny. Come on. Okay, sure, it's probably a microaggression, but that's funny. That's actually pretty funny.
Okay. This sounds like,
Wait, what the hell was that?
I want to...
What the hell is this? Is this a meme where I'm like supposed to know what this is?
Okay. This sounds like, I want to have straight pride.
Us Italians should be represented too. Like, if you're gay Italian, cool, you're already on the flag, congratulations.
And the reason that the black and the brown stripes are included is because they are the most marginalized in our community. And they deserve to have those stripes to show solidarity.
That was a little weird with them like staring at each other like that while she's yelling.
And they deserve...
Like she's literally like yelling in this chick's face. Yeah.
is because they are the most marginalized in our community.
That's why they are the most marginalized in our community. Brianna.
And they deserve to have those stripes to show solidarity. It's not about shoving everything on one flag. It's about being intentional. With this little joke here, this little hee-hee, she's saying we're just mishmashing everything onto one flag.
Okay, so Keffels has more to say about this progressive pride flag that includes the intersex pride flag. I hate that this design implies that the original flag is not inclusive of trans people, black people, and brown people. The original flag was designed by a friend of the first openly elected gay politician in the United States, and I see it as an important part of our history. Do not explain queer history to me, Keffels.
Ooh. Ooh. Keffels. Don't explain queer history to her, Keffels.
Do not talk down on me or any of the people that you're speaking to.
I'm sorry, I said her. It's probably they, them. If we're being real, this is probably a they, them.
Second of all, no one is diminishing the meaning of the flag that came before this new flag. No one is saying that people don't see themselves in it. No one is saying that it is not valid. We are just saying that we needed more representation. So we got more representation. If you felt represented by that flag, congratulations, but obviously not everyone did. So it's not about you, Keffels. Not everything is about you.
Well, okay. So it's kind of weird though, because you're upset about her flag as well. And it sounds like you're making it about you. You. So it sounds like you're doing the same exact thing you're upset with Keffels about, but okay.
Feel like you need to hear that.
Go off, sister.
Hashtag white women, not everything's about you. We really need to just sit down and listen sometimes.
Wait, who are you talking to?
We do not need to add our 2 cents to everything. This was very unnecessary.
Are y'all not white women? Did y'all turn the freaking color up on your light a little bit too high? Is this your internal racism showing? What? Who are y'all calling white women?
everybody felt included by the old one. This new flag is a symbol and a statement saying we are going to work to make the intersex community feel more included. We are going to put that at the forefront of our problems, which is not something that the queer community is doing. We brush aside the intersex issue. We brush aside issues of racism, being trans, and I think that's the point of the flag. It's not because the old one wasn't inclusive. It's more of a statement of we are standing with you in solidarity. We care. So
Wait, but that would be like about inclusivity. That is inclusivity. Like you're saying, like, hey, we include you, right? Like that's what you're saying. It's still inclusivity. You didn't change anything. You didn't even make a point here.
why is that such a problem?
That. Literally that.
Literally.
This was a few days later after the original tweet, so clearly Keffels has had this flag on her mind. She hates it so much, it's giving her hemorrhoids. And now she says, no one asked for this.
An intersex activist created the flag, so clearly at least one person did.
And that's what a Twitter user ended up saying to Keffels. This was actually made by an intersex activist. But Kay, go off.
Go off.
To which Keffels replies,
Okay, I'm gonna go off. It's an ugly Frankenstein flag, and we should use individual flags to represent our own communities
That is racist.
instead of whatever this is. Frankenstein flag? What Keffels is saying with this is, you stay
Excuse you, she looks like a Latine. I don't think a Latine is a thing. I could be wrong here, but I've never heard of a Latine.
over there in the corner with your issues and deal with it yourself.
the solidarity is unnecessary. It's becoming too much. That's your response to finding out that people from the intersex community wanted this, saying it's ugly and it's Frankenstein?
Disgusting.
Ugly. People had been discussing this, discussing other issues with Keffels, and this person had this to say about it.
I wanted to find out why people said Keffels was racist. This was all I could find when asking for proof, and I'm gonna vomit. I'm begging, no, pleading with white leftists not to listen to the de-slur person in the room just because they're the darkest.
Unlike Keffels, I can't decide if something is racist or not because I'm white, but this is stinky.
I don't like it. That last comment, are you just calling all of the people
I don't like it.
that are commenting on this issue, like you're just calling them silly?
You're insulting their intelligence.
That's weird.
That is very weird.
Oh, and then Keffels responds to this. My favorite part of this is people not realizing the second post was a shit post. I thought using the Irish flag would make that obvious. The post that Keffels is referring to is a screenshot of that original post that we were talking about with the Italian flag. Keffels is saying it was a joke, which people love to do when they
Yes, it sounded like a joke. Yeah, it sounded like a joke. I don't think anybody's actually like, we need more Italian representation. Like anybody who's saying that is kidding, unless you're like, unless your last name is Cuomo, then maybe you're being serious.
get called out for their bullshit, and they're just like, oh guys, it was a little joke.
You don't get to say anything. It was a joke. Then why'd you call it an ugly Frankenstein flag that nobody asked for?
Didn't sound like you were joking then. Also, if you are joking, use a goddamn tone indicator, and none of this will happen.
Use a tone indicator. Okay.
Especially because she said that a lot of the time, her followers can't even tell when she's joking. So tone indicators would actually...
Latinx versus Latine. Oh, okay. Okay. I like Latine better. I mean, that is a better term. I can get on board with Latine. Latinx is just dumb, but Latine, it's easier to say. I like it. It sounds very sophisticated. It's like a fancy way of saying Latin.
actually be very helpful for her community.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we're gonna go into Noodlegate.
No, Chase. Latine. Latina. Latina with an E. Spanish doesn't have gender neutral, and so folks have started using, well, right, yeah. Yeah.
So, essentially, a white woman, I don't know who, wrote a cookbook about all Asian foods.
We're gonna call her Pippi Longstocking. So Pippi Longstocking.
How did we get off on this? Why are we talking about a white woman making a cookbook now?
Wrote a book about Asian cuisine, okay? And it was very appropriative.
An Asian American person decided
It was very appropriate.
to comment on this, and they commented multiple times, posting exact things from the cookbook that made them uncomfortable, but they made a more general tweet saying, "Why did a white woman write a cookbook about dumplings and noodles?" And of course, Keffels decides to respond to the vague one that doesn't have any information why it's uncomfortable to them. She decides to respond because dumplings and noodles are tasty.
Wait, she decides. How do you know that she saw the other one? What do you mean she decided? See, this is what I'm talking about. I don't like Keffels. People in my chat aren't going to start going off like, no, Tom, don't defend Keffels. Nobody cares. Because even though we don't like Keffels, they're still wrong. These people are still dumb.
The point.
Really?
Also, of course, you're only going to respond on the one that's super vague so that your followers aren't going to see the reasons why it actually makes this person uncomfortable.
Of course.
So that they can just be like, oh, they're just spewing bullshit.
The tone from these two is so good. It's so great. The tone the entire time that they're talking is like this. Everything is so sassy.
Oh, but pierogi's a dumpling, pasta's a noodle. Yeah, it is. And if she was writing about those things in her cookbook, then we would not be talking about this. Her cookbook is all about Asian cooking that she does not have firsthand experience with. She writes about it as if she is a tourist in an exotic land and described their weird foods. She also dismissed the work of known food authors in that genre. Pippi Longstocking really did a lot of bullshit.
Wait, they said that it was appropriative. I thought appropriating to these freaking... I don't believe in appropriation, but I thought that the idea of appropriating was that they didn't give credit back to the people who were actually, like, back to the culture, right? They pretended it was their own. But but the whole time she's acting like it's a foreign thing to her. This is not you've proven yourself wrong by saying that it's appropriative and then turning around and being like, yeah, and she acted like she didn't know anything about this. Like, well, then it's not appropriating it then.
Yeah.
She was not just writing about dumplings and noodles and being innocent. So that Asian American woman ends up posting a picture of that tweet, the one that we read to you guys, about a year later. She saw that other people were talking about their experiences with Keffels and her racism, and she wanted to post it in solidarity, basically, saying, this has happened to me too.
One thing to note is that this person did...
This has happened to me too. All she said was that she likes dumplings. What's up, Earthman? How's it going? Long time no see. Welcome back, buddy.
Not tag Keffels in any way, shape, or form.
The point was not for Keffels to interact with this tweet.
It's a screenshot of what we just talked about. The Asian American woman...
It was posted on a public forum on Twitter talking about Keffels. And the point was not for Keffels to interact with this tweet. What is the point in any tweet? I thought the points were for people to interact with them. Anybody. Like, that's why they're public forums. Anybody that you haven't, like, blocked or privated your account from you are posting for them to interact with it. What are these people talking about?
Comments, quite interesting indeed, but quite is spelled Qwhite, which I just think is so witty. Keffels fucking finds it and responds, I don't understand the issue.
But she actually quote retweets the original post.
Oh,
Twice in
no.
a row, her followers are sent to this Asian American woman and start ridiculing her. This Asian American woman has...
Oh, man. The crap that Keffels uses against Destiny. Like, Destiny just interacts with a post, and she's like, wow, well, if he interacts with a post, then he's obviously inadvertently sending all of his followers to that person's post now to be harassed. That's what they're accusing her of now. This is beautiful. I love this. This is so good. This is what people talk about, where the left just starts eating themselves, that they all just they need somebody to attack so badly that they end up attacking each other over the dumbest stuff. So good.
less than 14,000 followers. Amazing. I'm not discrediting that, but...
I'm not discrediting that. Who would think that 14,000 would... Nobody would have thought that was you discrediting her until you say it. It's like if I add in no offense, just out of nowhere, if I just add in that word, that phrase, well, no offense, but it's obviously now going to be offensive. It's hey, are you Asian? Now he's, hey, no offense, but are you Asian? There's you just throw this in out of nowhere. It kind of makes it seem weird now. So when you're she has 14,000 followers, or no offense, but she has 14,000 followers, wait, now it sounds offensive. Now it sounds like you're looking down on her for not having a lot of followers.
Just as a comparison, Keffels has almost 150,000 followers now.
So you're really just gonna go quote retweeting a smaller content creator's stuff just to get your followers to shit on them? That's very irresponsible. That's an irresponsible use of a community.
All of this is really bad, but this is one of the things that made smoke start coming out of my ears.
Flames on the side of my face.
She makes a whole thread about Noodlegate because she's upset. She doesn't get it. She doesn't get why she's being attacked. She just doesn't get it. And she ends this whole thread by tagging the Asian American woman, Rosalind, saying to her, if you want, you can come on my stream today and explain to me why it's wrong for a white woman to make a cookbook about noodles and dumplings. I'll be around. My DMs are open. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Are you sure your DMs are open? Because you have us blocked.
You have half of Twitter blocked.
Telling someone to come to your Twitch stream, where you probably have thousands of viewers that support you, telling them, hey, fight me. Do you really think that's gonna go well for them when everyone in this community is literally obsessed with you?
And they're all harassing this other person. They've already done it. So why would she feel safe enough to go on your stream and have this conversation? Why are you expecting an Asian?
Then she just doesn't go on and have the conversation then. It's that simple. She just doesn't do it then.
Woman to do this labor for you.
She didn't oh my goodness, the labor. Oh no, now we're getting into slavery claims. You want this Asian woman to come on and give you free labor on your stream.
She does not need to explain cultural appropriation to you. You can look it up. She listed some articles that actually explained very well why the book was a problem.
There's no appropriation. Nothing was appropriated. Nothing. She literally, you proved that in your own quotes. You proved it. You said that she had no clue what she was talking about. She made it seem like a foreign land and a foreign food and the weird textures and everything. She's just describing food that is different to her. There's a show on, I think, Discovery or Nat Geo or something like that, where a guy just goes to a bunch of different countries and he eats their cuisines, and they'll have him eat bowl balls and stuff like that. He's not appropriating it. He's just showing people other people's cultures. It's a beautiful thing. That's what this woman was doing, and you guys are calling it appropriation.
Not just the fact that she's writing about noodles and dumplings, it's the fact that she's talking about Asian food in a very appropriative way.
So if Keffels had actually read any of the things that this Asian American woman
Zola said, you want this Asian woman to come on and give you free labor on your stream. Chad, yes. Yeah, not only that, Chad would be like, yes, and I'm going to make money on it. Yep.
had put out, then yeah, maybe Keffels would understand. But no, Keffels just wants to have an argument online, which she's notorious for doing on her stream, having debates and arguments on her stream. She just wants to have an argument that she knows the other person can't win because she's in a position of power when doing so.
Ooh.
So yeah, here you say, explain to me. But we all know damn well that means you're gonna have to debate me. The optics of an Asian American woman having to debate cultural appropriation with a white lady.
It just does not sit right with me. Just do the research, Keffels.
Yeah, just do the research. What are you doing, Keffels?
Next few tweets are going to be referring to somebody named Jai. Jai, from my knowledge, is a black trans woman. Don't really know much about her.
We just saw Keffels say some nasty things about her, and we want to talk about it because unless that person is a literal Nazi, you should not be saying this about them.
Keffels had a GoFundMe for her legal fund, which completely understandable. After she met the GoFundMe goal, she kept raising the goal. She kept raising it and raising it after it had already been hit. Jai is a black trans woman and probably has to see her and her friends and the people around her in her network probably sees their crowd funds not get that much traction. So seeing her continuing to raise her goal when she'd already met it was frustrating.
Because there's probably so many other people that need this for like housing or just or food or things like that, making sure they have a roof over their head. Not saying
exploiting Asian labor for profit is a North American cultural practice. Don't be a bigot. That's so good, dude. That's so good. We got to use that for everything now. Like, well, actually, being racist is part of our culture as white men. So please do not shame our cultural practices. That's racist. Actually, slavery is just part of our cultural practices, guys. It's okay.
that it was bad of Keffels to start something.
I had to turn this way down. Their voices are just, oh my goodness. It's like, it's killing me. They are the whiniest people ever.
For a legal fund, that's fine. But to keep raising the goal and raising the goal and raising the goal and raising the goal just because you know you're going to make the money is shady to me.
There was a screenshot from a private Discord conversation between Keffels and another individual that confirms that Keffels didn't need $100,000 worth of GoFundMe funds because she basically says, I don't know how much money you think I make, but I was going to make 6 figures this year before the GoFundMe happened. Most trans people that are crowdfunding are not asking for $10,000 and they usually don't make it. I'm not saying she didn't need a legal fund still, but the fact that she was already a 6-figure earner, she did not need $100,000.
But Keffels...
Yeah, true. You don't need that money. So now it's wrong for you to get it. That's how ethics work. If it's not necessary, then it's wrong.
saw Jai react like this, and this is what she said.
If this is how trans people respond to their own getting terrorized by the police because they were impersonated and swatted by Nazis, we are fucked. People like Jai need to be excised like a tumor from the trans community. You're calling for a black trans woman to be excised from the trans community simply...
Wait, why did they throw black in there? What did that have to do with anything? But she didn't say anything about them being black. Why did you mention them being black?
Because she had something to say about you. Oh, but you're okay with talking to literal fascists and racists and having conversations with them. Oh, you're totally open to that. But no, this black trans woman needs to be excised from the community like a tumor.
And the reason why Gus says you're comfortable talking to fascists is because Keffels has said, I will open my doors to the ex-Kiwi farm people. They will be welcome. So why are they welcome? Why are the people who were harassing bullying you and doing all of these terrible, why are they welcome, but Jai has to be excised for asking a question? If you
Disgusting.
really feel that
Jai was just asking questions. Come on, Keffels.
not comfortable talking like that to black women, especially black trans women, but black women in general, stay the fuck away from me.
Ooh. Dude. That's class. Oh.
Not only stay away from me, but stay away from black trans women and stop talking to them. If you cannot go one day on Twitter without shitting on a black trans woman, delete Twitter.
Yeah.
And journal. Shout
Yeah.
out to Aaron Bees for that phrase.
Yeah, Keffels can't go one day without doing it.
If it makes you that mad, journal about it, honey. I'm sure you'll figure it out somehow.
Woo! Got him. Woohoo! Yes, yes, queen.
So this next tweet is a response to Jai directly, aka letting all of her followers know this person exists that doesn't like me. Go ahead. I've already seen your Kiwi Farms account and know you are active on the site.
I can't, like, seriously, the way that they're talking, I can't take this. Like, I know that I've already seen your Kiwi Farms account. And no, you are active on the site and use it to harass trans people into locking and deactivating their accounts.
And use it to harass trans people into locking and deactivating their accounts. No one should trust you. Everyone should actively avoid you because you are a terrible human being.
There's no receipts. Show us. There shouldn't be any reason why you couldn't show us. Oh wait, maybe it's not real.
Maybe it's a fucking unsubstantiated claim.
Until you show me, I will not believe you.
I love it. I love it. They said unsubstantiated. I'm in love. I'm in love. I don't know what to tell you. I only date black girls, though. Sorry, ladies.
To this day, there is no proof that Jai has a Kiwi Farms account. So this next part, what happened was a mutual of ours, a typical queer, Ace, shout out to Ace, really cool person, please go follow, amazing content. Ace was mutuals with Keffels for a while, ended up posting a few tweets, like a thread, saying I was mutuals with Keffels, but I broke the mutual. It's come to my attention that she's done some behavior that's racist. It's not cool. Do better. And then this is how Keffels replies
Do better. True. Hashtag do better. How about that?
to this thread.
I'll always do my best to support the black community, and I recognize that black trans people especially are some of the most marginalized members of our community. I don't think I've always done my best, but I can own it. I'm always trying to learn from my mistakes and do better. Sounds like a good sentiment, right? Now Jai responds to what Keffels said. I mean, you could start by apologizing to me for the lies you told,
Yeah.
right? That's a place to start.
Why
Keffels
not?
responds straight up, no.
No.
Not, I didn't lie about you. My claims are substantial. Just no.
No.
I will
Oh, substantial.
not apologize to you for telling lies. That does not sound like doing your best to support the black community.
That does not sound like learning from your mistakes and doing better.
That doesn't sound like owning it. So this next tweet is a
There's a lot of other things that doesn't sound like either. Let's go off on that too. You know what? That doesn't sound like MLB commentary. That doesn't sound like a knock-knock joke. That doesn't sound like a scientist talking about global warming. Okay? There's a lot of things that just doesn't sound like. And I think we should name all of them. That doesn't sound like horses running on dirt. You know the... It doesn't sound like that.
Response to basically someone calling out Keffels for being racist. Keep in mind what Keffels said in the last tweets, okay? I have not always done my best. I will do better. I am not racist and have never engaged in racist behavior. I think that during this time of heightened aggression towards the transgender community, asking people to disown each other shows your lack of solidarity and willingness to build a strong community.
Wow. Keffels is white. Own it, Keffels. Check yourself.
Do better.
Stop fucking lying.
Okay, miss, we need to excise Jai like a tumor from the trans community.
Ooh,
You know
got
what
him.
shows a lack of solidarity? Racism.
You know who needs to do better? You!
You do.
Say that to yourself, bitch!
You. Also, why do you get to say that you've never done anything racist? You're fucking white.
You can't say you've never done anything racist.
You can say, I hope I've never done anything racist. We are not the ones that are constantly living under the systems of oppression that involve racism. We are, but we are not the ones that are primarily impacted by it. So we do not get to decide that.
Literally, Donald Trump could have tweeted that first sentence, and I would have believed it.
I am not racist and have never engaged in racist behavior.
I quote retweeted it and said, you don't get to decide what's racist. Do better. We got blocked.
Got 'em.
We don't even have 500 followers, you guys.
And we got blocked by someone with over 100,000 followers. You really
Wow.
that scared of us?
She's scared of any criticism. If everything that's happening with you is okay, if you're doing things right, then you can stand up to scrutiny. So this was actually posted today.
If you have ever wondered why Keffels racist comes up in the search results, it's the result of Jai and her friends boosting false accusations and harassing me for months. Before she bullied my friend off of Twitter, she revealed Jai's alt where she pretends to be my grooming victim.
False accusations. Keffels, these have been your tweets.
Straight from the horse's mouth, love.
You said it.
Also, why are you only going after Jai? There was that Asian American woman that was speaking out against you. What happened to her?
What happened to her?
It's all Jai's fault now? You're just picking one
Did you kill her? Is she in your trunk? Is she tied to your radiator right now, Keffels? Where did she go? What happened to her?
person to target and one person to blame so that your community can go after them and to make them shut up. And that is disgusting.
That's the kind of stuff that
Disgusting.
leads to violence, especially because Black trans women are the most at risk of violence out of any marginalized group. Now, because of her blaming Jai consistently, people have been calling Jai a Nazi, a racist, a transphobe. People have been saying that she was behind the swatting.
Okay, so, like, this is something that people on the left just don't seem to understand. This is why we talk about, like, you know, woke points and oppression Olympics and stuff like that. It's because of people like this who say, well, as long as you have this, like, you know, this card that you can use, this oppression card, then we automatically give it to you. We give you credibility just for being oppressed. And that's what they're doing. See, like normal people, we have ethics, we have morals, and we apply this to everybody, regardless of their race, regardless of their gender, or, you know, their oppressed status. There's context that can change things. Like, you know, can you say the N-word? There's some context in there that can change whether or not we would find that acceptable based on, you know, different standards in different places and different things. So when I say like we're going to apply the same standard across the board, it's going to be the same every time. We're going to look at them the same every time, based on the context, based on the information. It's always going to be the same. But these people just say, oh, you're black, you win. Even when it has nothing to do with like being black, they're still doing that. Even if it has nothing to do with them being trans, they're still doing that. It's just not relevant whatsoever, but you're black, you're trans, you get double the amount of points. Go off, sister.
Of Keffels, and none of these claims are substantiated. This thing where she's saying she revealed Jai's alt where she pretends to be my grooming victim, how is that proof? Somebody posted a list.
We don't know if they're Jai's accounts. How are we supposed to know? There's no actual receipts.
She's only going to mention the Keffels racist accusations, and she's not going to talk about any of her ableism against the autistic community, which is what we are going to talk about.
Yes, this is literally what Keffels does. Yes, Keffels, they are using the same tactics against Keffels that Keffels uses on other people. Where Keffels will say things like, you know, you attacked a trans woman, and just make it sound like, oh, like, okay, so just attacking a trans woman makes you transphobic. Now, it normally, for the rest of us, if you're attacking them, it has to be like you're attacking them on the basis of their transness. But for these people, just attacking a trans woman is transphobic.
Right now.
So she actually hadn't discussed this when we recorded the video, but by the time we started editing, she did address this. So we'll talk about what she said in a little bit. All I will say is that this is what she posted about 24 hours after she first addressed these tweets. Shout out to all the autistic people who follow me for backing me up until this S-word discourse died. I'm sorry you all get
They just said S-word instead of stupid. The left have become the Christians. It's happening. They have become so dogmatic. They have become the Christians. This is amazing.
Infantilized and treated like you have no agency. The people attacking me over being ableist are far more ableist than I have ever been. You haven't exactly seen the tweet yet. Just know that this is willfully misconstruing the issue and that there are autistic people who did have a problem with this. And
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if autistic people had a problem with it. That doesn't decide whether or not it is a problem. Autistic people saying that's a problem is not what makes it a problem. Autistic people being offended by something is not what makes it a problem. My goodness.
I find interesting is that she, someone who is not a member of the autistic community as far as we know, why does she get to decide that this is done? Not even 24 hours later, she said the discourse is dead. Why does she get to decide that? Very strange.
So this is in someone's private messages with Keffels.
It doesn't sound like she's deciding that it's dead. It sounds like she's making like a descriptive claim to say, hey, people stop talking about this, so it's dead.
It was shown that this was Keffels. Her partnered Twitch is linked to this Discord account.
I don't get the point of any of this. Why are you acting like an R slur?
To which the person responds, sounds ableist.
To which Keffels responds, it is. I am being ableist against you. So Keffels knows.
Oh, yes. Andre said, I mean, it's at least consistent. Saying retard isn't any different from saying stupid or dumb, in my opinion. Totally true. This is what I think all the time. But it's the same for words like bitch or, you know, like there's pretty much most cuss words are going to fall into the same category where they are offensive to some group of people. And I have always tried to be consistent and not use most of them, but the more and more I guess the older I get, the more I use them, because I'm running out of words that are strong enough to convey what it is that I'm saying. And so I'm like caught in a quandary where, like, yeah, I try not to use a lot of these words, but I need something like strong enough. So earlier they called Keffels a bitch, right? Well, that is a sexist slur, right? So why is that one okay, but the others aren't, right? Like, it seems weird that stupid is the S word, but bitch is cool. That's perfectly fine.
That's exactly what she's doing, and she's doing it anyway.
Especially from some non-binary people. You can't say bitch. That's a female slur. I'm just kidding. I don't know that they're non-binary. But like, they're probably non-binary. Come on.
She does not care.
Yeah, I'm being ableist against you. What the fuck are you gonna do about it? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make a fucking YouTube video about it, bitch.
Because there were a lot of other people who were working to take down kiwi farms, and none of them are getting the same attention. None of them are going on the H3 podcast with Ethan Klein. None of them are getting the $100,000 in GoFundMe. None of them are getting all these news interviews and articles being posted about her. It's all about Keffels.
Of course, it's all about the white woman.
We're not saying that taking down kiwi farms was not a good thing. We just really wish that we could highlight this work with somebody that's not racist, because those people are out there and they're not getting the same kinds of traction on their activism because they're not being taken as seriously because of racism.
This one makes me mad.
Receipts, please. Receipts, please. Where is it because of racism? Because from my perspective, we often lift up the voices of marginalized communities unnecessarily just because they have been drowned out in the past. And so sometimes black people with literally nothing good to say are heard out because racism.
Mad. I don't care if you like me or not. I live next to the train tracks. All I need to get pussy is to tell an autistic girl she can watch the trains go by at my place every few hours. I'm better than you. A year later, Keffels responds to the tweet saying, this is still a banger. So being ableist is a banger? Saying that you're using autistic girls is a banger?
Autistic people are more likely to be sexually assaulted than other groups of people. This is extra disgusting.
Wait, what? Hold on. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on.
Responds to the tweet saying, this is still a banger. So being ableist is a banger? Saying that
Wait, hold on.
responds to the tweet saying, this is...
I need to... where's the... I don't care if you like me or not. I live next to the train tracks. All I need to get pussy... Wait. All I need to get pussy is to tell an autistic girl she can watch the trains go by at my place every few hours. I'm better than you. What? That's I'm surprised Keffels would say this, but that's actually pretty funny, dude.
I'm better than you. A year later, Keffels responds to the tweet saying, this is still a banger. So being ableist is a banger? Saying that you're using autistic girls is a banger?
Autistic people are more
She didn't say she was using autistic girls. She said she was using the train tracks.
likely to be sexually assaulted than other groups of people. This is extra disgusting. She's joking about sexually coercing an autistic girl by telling...
Wait, what? That's sexually coercion? That's coercion? What? Is wearing makeup coercion? Like doing things that other people like is coercion? This is insane. If that's just like having train tracks is now coercion. This is nuts.
Telling her that she's gonna do one thing and then doing another.
I don't get how that's a silly, funny little tee-hee. I really don't.
I don't know why this has 4,755 likes. What the fuck?
I don't know how to get my car into third gear.
235 retweets?
That many retweets? You guys fucking suck. And you guys need to check yourselves. You watched the train pass your house with an autistic girl. I ran a train on an autistic girl. We are not the same. I looked it up because I'd never heard this phrase.
That's, dude, come on. These are freaking gold, dude. Oh, that's too good, dude. That is freaking brilliant, bro.
And when I found it, to run train or run a train refers to when multiple men have sex with a woman right after the other, with or without consent.
Wait. She said that last part a little too aggressively. They're about to accuse her of rape. They're about to accuse her of rape. They are. They're gonna accuse her of rape now. I think this is as far as I got the last time. I don't even think I got, I think I got like right in here last time listening to this.
Especially because she's not autistic.
Fucked the fuck up.
Now we're actually going to talk about what Keffels said in the aftermath when people were calling her out for these ableist tweets. As my platform has gotten bigger, I have become more careful with what I say, and I've grown a lot as a person in these last several months. That said, aka fuck what I just said before, this isn't even what run a train means. I'm being called a rapist right now over a vulgar joke about consensual sex. Now, I didn't know this, but apparently run a train is a phrase that was created in AAVE. So, Keffels, you don't get to say that that's not what it means. All you had to say was, I didn't realize that that's what it means. But no, Keffels can't say that she did something wrong. She can't. It will literally give her a rash. So instead, she has to blame the people around.
If black people made the word, they get to decide what it means. Okay? This sounds like when gripers are like, well, we made the N-word, so we get to use it. Okay? Not you. Black people don't get to use the N-word. We made it. This is so dumb, dude. These people are so dumb. Oh no, dude. This is so bad.
Her. Oh, you guys are just talking crap. That's not even what it means. Well, that's clearly what it means in some communities, and they have a problem with this. Especially.
We're absolutely sure these guys aren't satire, right? I don't know. Maybe they are. It's called Clowntown. Maybe it is actually. Maybe it is a joke. We have decided to turn off the comments. We have heard your concerns loud and clear. The point of our videos. Wait. Oh, they did. They turned off the comments. Oh, no. Oh, no. We stand by our critiques of Keffels. However, we are taking your comments into consideration. There was a transphobic slur that was used unintentionally, and we are cutting it out of our language now that we have been made aware. We will find a better way to protect people's privacy while not diminishing them to their race and gender. While not diminishing them to their race and gender. I don't even know what that means. We are working overall on the way that we communicate the points we want to make. We are not shutting down the comments because we want to cut off dialogue, but because the comments that we were getting were no longer constructive or helpful. I've got a comment that will be constructive and helpful. Y'all, put some tape over your mouths. Like that. And write on the tape, I can only talk when Tom says so. Because I'm a woman. Or crap. Or a non-binary. I don't know. I give up. I regret that statement. Okay. Well, no longer constructive or helpful. The comments were making us incredibly dysphoric as non-binary trans people. Woo! Let's go! Let's go! I called that! I called that right off the rip, dude! I called that right off the rip! I knew that they were freaking non-binary trans people. They have to add in, because this is what you know they're going to add trans people, right? They're not just going to say non-binary people. They're going to say non-binary trans people, because that's the only reason to use the label non-binary, is if you just don't have enough woke points yet. People don't listen to what you're saying enough. Let's just call ourselves non-binary. I know what non-binary means. I am also non-binary. Sure. Non-binary trans sounds like an oxymoron, no? So you can transition from a woman to non-binary. You can transition from being a man to non-binary, right? If you follow all of the norms and eventually just come out and say, hey, this is the real me. This is like how I act and look, and I've just kind of been hiding it my entire life. Then yes, you have transitioned to non-binary. Non-binary in and of itself is not a gender, though. Like, non-binary is not its own gender, right? And so, yeah, it's just, you didn't transition to another gender. Non-binary means that you're like in the middle of the spectrum, so far into the middle that it's hard for you to pick one or the other. It's hard for you to pick man or woman because you're not simply just a man or just a woman. So you can be non-binary and trans and transition to non-binary. Because normally trans means that you are, you identify with a different gender than the one that you were assigned at birth. If non-binary is not a gender, then how are they trans, right? They would have to transition to a different gender. So I know that so it's a hard thing to decipher. It's hard to pick it apart, but I would say, yeah, somebody who's non-binary can be trans, but not necessarily, I guess. I don't know. That's a difficult part, but I knew they were freaking non-binary. I knew they were non-binary. I knew it. As non-binary trans people, to the point where we've had to come out both publicly to our family, which we weren't ready to do so. Huh. Okay, I mean, look, I take it back. Maybe they hadn't come out yet, and maybe the next video is they'll be completely different people.
With the other tweets, I am now seeing people construing what is happening with these tweets as, oh, well, you guys don't think that autistic people can consent to sex. You guys are ableist. Did Simone Biles teach you how to do that mental gymnastics? Because damn, this is getting ridiculous.
Mental gymnastics, that's what you're talking about. You're saying that the autistic person isn't able to consent themselves. That's what it means when you say that they're that they're exploiting them, right? Like, you're making it sound like they're incapable of consent because there's trains.
Nobody said that autistic people can't consent. If they did, They're wrong. Autistic people who are over consenting age can definitely consent and have a great time having sex. Have fun. The tweet implied that there was coercion involved, plus the language of run a train, which implies non-consent. That, coupled with the way that she fetishizes autistic women, all of
It said consensual or non-consensual. It all the train means is that a bunch of people had sex with the person. That's it. So it doesn't matter whether or not it was consensual. That's not even part of the picture, because that will not change whether or not it was a train. That's why it says consensual or not consensual, because the consent part does not play any part in whether or not they are running a train. It's really hard to believe that you didn't know what running a train was before this, but I don't know what world you've lived in, but this is insane. Like how dumb these people are. This is just insane.
of this just doesn't sit right with me, and it doesn't sit right with a lot of other autistic people.
Doesn't sit right with
We're
me.
actually not going to talk about all of these tweets just because it's going to take too long to go into each one by one. But we want to show you some of examples of what Keffels' vehement supporters are saying.
Okay, so basically this tweet has a screenshot of a black trans woman criticizing Keffels for her racist behavior. These Jai cultists are just doing the regular Nazi move of accusing others of what they are people doing. People like Jerica are trying to pick up where Kiwi Farms left off and use false accusations of racism to tear apart the trans community.
Can we talk about the fact that Jerica was also doxxed on Kiwi Farms? You're
No.
really gonna accuse her of picking up where Kiwi Farms left off when she is a victim of Kiwi Farms? Fuck you.
Makes no goddamn sense!
Wow.
And then in response to that, Vaush says, do you think this person has bound a special key to a black trans woman so she doesn't have to type it out so much? Basically saying, why does she have to mention that she's black, trans, and a woman all the time? It's because she's proud of that fact. And people put her down for that fact as often as possible, which is what you're doing here. I have not spoken publicly about the stuff surrounding Keffels, but what I will say is I was very, very connected and tuned into what was happening at Kiwi Farms. And I'm begging people to realize that there are very bad actors at play trying to stir up the community. This feels...
Yeah, look, this is dumb. If you are actually running around mentioning that you're a black trans woman all the time, it seems a little weird. I'm proud of being a white man, a white cis man. I am proud of it. But if I run around all the time saying that I'm a white cis man, you'll get some implications from that, I'm sure.
Feels like it's implying that the people calling her out for racism are kind of connected with Kiwi Farms and are also just trying to stir up the community and fuck everyone over.
Not like they're just trying to actually get the word out there that Keffels is or has been racist and ableist. Oh no, they're just trying to stir the...
I would be happy to like hear any evidence of this whatsoever. Like that would be great if you guys could at some point show something like racist or ableist.
pot.
Keffels isn't even Jai's biggest harassment target. Most of her targets are other black, indigenous people of color, especially trans women of color, especially Jews, including the promulgation of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories about Jews orchestrating the oppression of black people. No evidence.
Where is the evidence? I do not see it. We looked for it.
If you're gonna say that someone is harassing other trans people and that this is a whole orchestrated campaign, you're gonna need to have some evidence. This person said,
Like, she correctly identified that it isn't...
Wait, you guys can't ask other people for evidence when you literally show evidence of nothing. You keep talking about what's substantiated and what's unsubstantiated. Everything you guys are saying is unsubstantiated. You have not substantiated anything. Tom, you get canceled for saying white cis man and proud on Twitter. Yeah, true. Well, I am a proud white cis man, so... And look, if these girls ever decide that they are, that they need a conductor, I will happily run a train on them.
in fact, much easier to talk down to actual fascists than it is to talk down to the trans community when we've decided we don't like you. Isn't that kind of horrifying? Like, she's right. That's true. Doesn't that make you feel ashamed of us?
That does make me feel ashamed that you feel more comfortable talking to fascists than black trans people calling you out on your racism. That does make me uncomfortable and ashamed. This is about the noodles.
What is with these demanding cultural apartheid? Is there some global homo conspiracy theory they subscribe to about losing one's racial purity if you allow others to learn the secrets of your people's food?
Just don't culturally appropriate. Stop with these think pieces.
Why do you guys keep speaking for trans black women? Huh? Why are you speaking over them? Why are you speaking over black trans women? Huh?
Someone asked you.
I might buy the White Lady's cookbook for dumplings and noodles out of spite for cultural segregationist clowns like this. Actually, I did see that some people got that cookbook to the #1 on the charts just because they were upset about these kinds of tweets.
They just bought it because they were pissed off?
Yep. This person said, there's also the angle where trans people of color have wound up getting used by bad actors. It really fucking sucks. I've been watching it happen and yeah, big oof. So you're saying that they're not smart enough to realize that they're being used by people and not that they're just looking at what Keffels is saying and saying this is racist?
Do not tell people, especially black people, that they're misunderstanding racism. Just don't.
So this is something that Keffels retweeted.
So the image, it's from a video game. Lord forgive me, I don't know which one. It is an image that says, "I'm sorry, you're a hero, and you have to leave." And the caption is like half of trans Twitter after Keffels defeated Kiwi Farms. So Keffels, you think you're a hero? I don't think any self-respecting activist would feel that way about themselves.
Very weird. Trans communities, stop constantly kneecapping all of your most effective.
What? I don't think any trans activists would feel that way about themselves. If you think you're a hero, you're no longer a trans activist. That's... the logic makes sense. It's, hey, what can I say?
Effective Advocates Challenge 2022 with, in brackets, impossible. If our most effective activists are racists, I do not want them.
Goodbye. Not gonna miss ya. Goodbye.
Bye-bye now.
If you genuinely don't understand how racism and transphobia are super interconnected,
I mean, I don't think that a black trans activist would ever put a halo above their own head, like they're an angel. How about that? You think you're better than everybody else. You think you're better than a trans woman, Keffels, who you are speaking over right this instant. An oppressed trans woman who's not very smart either. So this is probably, we can probably fit some ableism in there somewhere, even though you're also not very smart. This is, all of you are not smart. And every time any of you talk about any of each other, you're all being ableist.
you need to do more research because they are. And by being racist, you're also being transphobic. We're not going to excuse someone's racism because of her activism.
I know we said that those were all the tweets that we were going to read, but I kept finding more and more and more, and I can't not read these. So I'm not going to explain what's wrong with all of these, because if not, we'd be here for 3 years. These are worth reading because it's worth seeing how Keffels has kind of fueled racism. Here are the videos that prove you shouldn't listen to everything black people say. It's that black people are doing this to get clout and make the lives of other people worse because they want to race bait to be relevant. it. And the photo is of a Soulja Boy scam. At least Kiwi Farms is honest about hating trans people. These assholes hide behind a veneer of anti-racism, in quotes, to justify harassing and pedojacking trans people.
True.
I'm sorry, but a lot of these people who make it their fucking life goal to take down Keffels are only doing it because she's a big trans creator with a platform. It's literally just a mix of jealousy and blatant transphobia. They're ideologically identical to Kiwi Farms. We should just start doxing these people. I don't know why we aren't. If I knew how, I'd be doing it. Keffels used
Tom, do you think JF acted immorally with his autistic teen bride? I would say yes. We don't really have enough information to come to like a full conclusion on this, but I would say the fact that her parents were against it, that the courts said that she was not, her brain was not developed enough for her to consent to a marriage. I would say based on like that stuff, like, yeah, it seems as though JF did some pretty messed up stuff there. Yeah.
used her influence to take down one of the worst sites to ever exist. And the aftermath is left-leaning, in quotes, people on here scraping to find and make up reasons to get people to hate her. Almost like Keffel took something from them. Maybe something Kiwi related? I don't want to hear this bullshit dragging up every questionable thing Keffels has ever done. It's not 2014 anymore. You should have enough media sophistication to understand when women speak out against internet harassment, the counterplay is to put the victim on trial. Blank has a post showing it's all made up by a bunch of black women jealous that they can't be Keffels. So now they turned into literal Nazis and use race as a shield. Sometimes you see popular lefty trans women is a bigot threads on here, and the receipts are so weak, but there's so much energy for it. I've done and said worse, usually, but there's never half the push to trash me from within the left. With Hassan Abi responding, I hate the left. I trust a lot of people when they say they've experienced something. When they have a shady history of defending r-slur shit, I tend to find it harder to listen to dipshits who can't even tie their own shoes. Not reading anymore. As someone who has a hard time tying their shoes because of their disability, fuck you. I'll see you in hell.
This is good. This is too good, dude. This is too good. Oh, no. Oh, no. This is too good, dude. She can't even tie her own shoes. Oh my goodness. Oh no. The oppression Olympics is real, yes. What's up, Matthew? This is what this is. This just is like I don't know what to call it. It's a thing.
Hell, bitch. Let me get this straight. A cis man can make an entire comedy special being transphobic and be defended with, it's just comedy. But Keffels can't say, add the Italian colors to the flag that represents her because she's trans, adding that to the mountain of hypocrisy. It'd be a real shame because what Jai figured out a long time ago was that attaching her name to as many vectors of intersection as possible was an effective way of pushing reactionary ideas. and a shocking number of lefties fell for it. The perfect combo seems to be black trans women. Keffels did accomplish something no one thought was possible, but also she made some offensive jokes I don't have the complete context for, so she's basically female Hitler. Oh, I might throw up reading this one.
That was the mention of Hitler. That was the mention of Hitler that they gave a trigger warning for. They gave a trigger warning for that mention of Hitler. So literally, like I said, their mention of Hitler in the trigger warning was just as bad as the actual mention of Hitler. So if somebody was going to get triggered by that mention of Hitler, they were also going to get triggered by the mention of Hitler in the trigger warning. This is great.
Jai is just a miserable, soul-sucking cunt of a human being. Should be strung up and beaten like a fucking piñata. The circus leader of it all. Okay, I'm done and moving on. Sure you are. Remember that the source of all the weird accusations against me come from people like this, who obviously need psychiatric help, but instead sublimate that distress into Twitter disputes. You guys need to stop doing mental gymnastics for your favorite racist. It's not getting you anywhere. And comparing black trans women to Nazis is some of the most historically, socially, it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
So, in conclusion,
It's the most historically, socially, it's disgusting. Well done. You got him. Got him.
this whole Keffels thing has me fucked up and it has me angry. Just because it's a microaggression does not mean that it's any less harmful.
I think that's like the point in the micro part of the phrase microaggression. Yeah. Do we need to look up the word micro real quick?
Maybe don't go after black trans women, especially just straight up lie, as far as we're aware, lying about them.
Well, maybe you shouldn't go after white trans women. Maybe well, as far as we know, lying about them. You haven't shown like evidence of anything racist here whatsoever.
Not a good look. If you have receipts, fucking post them.
Yeah. What we're not gonna do is allow you, a white lady, to say, well, I've never been racist, when we have all of this evidence and all of these other people agreeing that it is racist.
You can't say anything either. Who are you? What are you talking about? Are you not a white lady? What do you want?
That it is ableist. That it is interphobic.
And not only people, we have black indigenous people of color saying that it is racist. Not just a bunch of white people.
These girls need to check themselves. They are the most historically, socially disgusting. Just disgusting. True.
It's not just us. It's people in those communities that were affected by what Keffels said.
We're not the only ones who are this dumb, okay? There are other dumb people too, okay?
That are saying that it's racist. We are not pulling this out of our ass, so do not say that we are.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyway.
Thank you for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. Let us know what your thoughts are down below.
Yeah, let us know what your thoughts are down below, guys. Let's go let them know what our thought. Oh. Damn. Huh. Is there something below this? Is there... Stop being such a historical social. You got me. You got me. If only YouTube hadn't taken away likes and dislikes. Yeah, I think... Supposedly there's still a way to see the dislikes. I just don't know. But 94 likes out of 3,000 views is horrific, dude. That's freaking... Oof. Oh my goodness. I have a video that just got like 500 views and it has like 20 likes on it. What was 500 times, let's see, to get 3,000, we do it times 6. I'm sorry, my brain just blanked on what I was just thinking of. What was I doing again? Oh yeah, so I'd have 120. And that was like where most of the people who watched my video did not like it. Like the comments were not happy. But yeah.
Tell a story about the partner party.